Is it just me, or does Kaa Reesu feel super underrated, a little disrespected? I mean, at the end of the day, he is his own unique model. He's got a super cool wing from one of the best Cars Toon Mater Tall Tale shorts ever, Tokyo Mater. He's been released multiple times. I don't know. I just feel like more people should talk about him. But hey, that's what we're going to be doing today in this episode of Prototype Prestige, episode 18. We have this beautiful yellow and black prototype of Kaa Reesu. Very excited to get into it, man. This was one of the, I wouldn't say first prototypes I ever got, but it's definitely back there within like my first 10 to 15 to 20 prototypes. It has a special spot in my heart, and I just want to give Kaa Reesu some more attention because he definitely deserves it. So yeah, let's just dive right on in here, guys. Now, I know what you might be thinking. He's got the same model as Manji, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So just wait your turn. We'll get to the Manji discussion here in a moment. But yeah, Kaa Reesu, originally released in 2010, of course, for the Tokyo Mater line. And then I believe got a single release in 2013 or 2014. And I think might have been also included in a multi-pack, a 3-pack, one of those times as well. But yeah, definitely one of the easier to get Tokyo Mater characters, especially when you put him up against Yojimbo, Tabainu, Goodbye Car, etc. But yeah, he's got a nice expression. I found it interesting that it's an eye plate, actually. You know, this part right here is a part of the interior piece, or it's actually part of the side view mirror section here, whatever you want to call it. I guess you could even refer to it as interior, but a lot of the cars kind of during this era had the eyes as part of the body. Like it was all one metal piece. Like you would expect it to be yellow like everything else here, but no. Yeah, this piece is right through the middle there, and it's got the side view mirrors on either side. So kind of interesting. You don't really see cars crafted like that. You do have all the windows inside, the sunroof there, the back window, all that good stuff. But yeah, it's either yellow or black with Kaa Reesu. It's pretty simple here. And it really goes to show what pieces are plastic on him and what is metal, because this is a relatively light release. He does have quite a bit of plastic pieces here, starting with the front bumper right there, which could be considered, I mean, it is a mouth plate because it contains the mouth, but they do a really good job of blending the color with the whatever gold. This is kind of like a gravelly gray silver with some Spectraflame sparkle in there. It's a really interesting color. But yeah, they blend it really well because a lot of mouth plates don't really match the color on the body too well because it's plastic and then metal. The color just translates differently. But yeah, it looks good here. He's got a nice smile. And someone's got to let me know what these things are. These little kind of scales. They look really cool, and a lot of these types of cars use them. Of course, Manji does. But I don't know exactly what they're called. Are they just decorative, or is there an actual like aerodynamic purpose that they hold? But yeah, I mean, it looks really cool. And it's kind of hard to see because everything is black on the prototype. Of course, the tires are, and the wheels, so they haven't been painted the silver yet. Now, what a cool yellow color. Just pure lemon yellow for Kaa Reesu here. Really nice. You could see the vent here and the gas cap, which they do a nice job on the real deal, or the, I hate saying real deal because both of these are real deals, but the finalized version, they make the gas cap silver there, which looks really cool. It stands out nicely. Now, of course, as with almost all cars, the wing is plastic, and so therefore it is black, but it's a kind of double bridged one, kind of like Wingo's, but obviously not quite as cool, not quite as extensive as his, with about, yeah, like 6 rungs. Kaa Reesu here only has the 2. Yeah, you got the headlight or the taillights there that are a part of the metal body, but you can see the line where the bumper plate comes into play here, which is in black on the prototype. Again, with a lot of these kind of scaly shells, these levels to it. Man, I need to know the exact term for those, because a lot of these import Tokyo Mater characters do use something like that. Yeah, really interesting. You can also see kind of like extra little, I don't know what the word for this is either, like a little nubbin, 4 nubbins here on the bumper or the underside of it. Really interesting. Like, what is the purpose for those? There has to be something that they do. Of course, he doesn't have a license plate, even though he does have a spot for it. These street racers don't need license plates. But yeah, what a cool two-tone car. Was not expecting him to have the I plate, but obviously he does. Mattel Inc. made in China, or Disney Pixar China. Let's see what the base on this one shows. Yeah, a lot more. This has to be the 2014 release, like I was telling you guys about, from that 3-pack, 3, 4, 6, 3. So the 346th day of 2013 at the EA factory. Plus, the 2010 version would not have this much text on the base. You got the address, made in China, all that. So it's likely this is indeed probably for the 2010 release of Kaa Reesu. Can't know for sure, but if I was a betting man, it is pretty likely because of the fact that the base is so scarce, and that's kind of how they looked in 2010. But again, we have to remember that bases can change the text, the composition, when you go from prototype to the finalized version that ends up on the shelves. And a lot of people kind of neglect that. Like, anything can change. Like, they could have changed the bumper. They could have made that part of the main metal body. They could have done whatever they wanted to. At the end of the day, it is a prototype, and that means it's early stage. They're testing, they're sampling, they're figuring it out. So, I mean, hey, they could do whatever the hell they want with it. But I will say this is probably the 2010 version of Kaa Reesu. I love his two-tone paint job, man. It just flows together nicely. Now, for Manji here, yes, they are super similar in terms of model, and I would love a Manji prototype. I have seen a Manji prototype like in purple before. It looks really cool. It's one of the older prototypes that I think was like in 2010. So that one was definitely for the original version of Manji and not that re-release. But anyways, side tangent. The mouths are different, first of all. Of course, you could see that on Kaa Reesu. It's much more open. You know, you got the tongue in there and the teeth. Manji's a little bit more of a slit mouth. And the headlights are pretty much the same. Hood's all the same. Yep. Both of them do have the sun roof and all that. They do have the gas cap. They do have different wings, obviously, if it wasn't already obvious. So I guess at the end of the day, you could argue, okay, it's the same metal body, right? Anything that's metal is identical between Manji and Kaa Reesu, but you have different wings, you have different mouth plates, different decals, but yeah. So I think they did a good job, you know. Collectors can't get a little, I don't know, just, you don't love when you see a bunch of repaints after repaints, and they had done this a lot as it is, you know, the Dash Boardman car, Matthew True, Blue McCrew, Chucky, there's so many of that, Suki, Ichigo, Harumi, Chisaki, all those are repaints, so even though these kind of are, they do a pretty good job of distinguishing them. I've always, you know, it just looks like Manji's a way bigger car because of the huge wing, right? But yeah, good stuff there for sure. I also wanted to just show you guys Wingo with them because of the fact that they kind of have wings cut from the same cloth with the ladder type style. Even though Kaa Reesu is more of like a step stool with only 2 rungs. Yeah, Wingo has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. Komodo here as well. My first ever prototype was a van. I also got a stripped Kabuto at the same time. And I got them from a seller who also had a Komodo prototype. And it is one of my biggest regrets that I didn't get it. I was super young. I think I was only like 14 at the time. And I didn't want it. I didn't like it because the prototype had eyes. Even though the eyes were, it wasn't the same expression. Like the eyes were looking dead ahead. It was clearly and by far a prototype expression that you would see like in a stock image. In fact, I think it is the same expression in one of the stock images for Komodo. And it was painted yellow, just like Kaa Reesu here. And man, I passed on it because I didn't know enough, and I was like, all right, I'm cool with these 2 prototypes. And yeah, to never be seen again is just ingrained in my memory as a mistake. Also, leaving behind a treasure hunt at a store, a Hot Wheels treasure hunt, of course, that also really hurt, even though it doesn't hurt as much as this prototype one. But that's all we have for the Kaa Reesu Prototype Prestige episode. Really cool to do one that oh, it's a little bit of an older prototype, at least in terms of when I got it in my collection versus the Bessie that we did. If you guys didn't see that episode, definitely check it out. And the John Halstead, definitely some more newer prototypes versus Kaa Reesu, which is 14 years old. That is absolutely crazy to think. Anyways, guys, thank you as always for watching and your support. I will see you next time for another video. Bye now.
Without doubt, it's our say, if all's gonna mend. We both know that one day the sun's gonna